they were very reluctant on the ball. They were quite happy just sitting in their half and defending
Mm,
the ball. And it made it harder for England. It made it really hard for England because we just couldn't get past the
mm.
wall that they sort of built in the defense. And if you see that in the goal as well that England scored, the goal that was disallowed, you would see that, it was very structured. It was a very, very
Mm.
structured defense. And so I don't, having seen what I've seen yesterday, I don't really think that England played a particularly bad game yesterday. Just they really tried. That's the best game that I've seen. And
Mm. It was a bit better, yeah, it was a bit better. But I mean, Slovenia, I mean, I think
yeah,
they're considered to be number 59th, I think, in world football. So, I mean, and I'm not sure where England are. We've got to be in the top 7 or 8, I would have thought. But Slovenia 59th. So you on paper, you would expect England to have won that game. But I have to say, I think Slovenia are an example of what's happened in world football generally. You see it at World Cups and at the Euros, where the tiny nations, I mean, Slovenia are a nation of 2.2 million people.
all right.
Now, when you think England, I guess, is 55, 60 million
Million,
people.
yeah.
So obviously the countries that don't have many to choose from do particularly well. But technically, they were very good. They had this nice little passing movements, these little triangles, and they seemed much more comfortable on the ball as individuals and their belief in their own technical ability than many of our England players. All much of the time, all we seem to do is want to pass it, often very safely, sideways or backwards. Whereas we need 2 or 3 players to prepare to take a risk, to try and take on players like Saka does, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a bit quiet in the last couple of games, but he's an excellent winger who can go past players. And we just don't seem to want to take those risks, which I think is one of the problems at the moment. But yeah, I mean, as I say, it'll be brilliant if we actually grow into this tournament from now on. We've got through. And I mean, you mentioned Scotland, and I have to say, I mean, I don't normally weep any tears if the Scottish football team doesn't progress. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not to say, I mean, I think, truthfully, for me, they're part of the United Kingdom. And I know perhaps all the 4 countries in our United Kingdom tend to maybe think people think of themselves first as Scottish or Irish, Welsh or English,
Yeah.
rather than British. And I think in England many people now take that view that we're first and foremost we're English,
Yeah.
and then we're British.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem with that. But as we are the UK, Great Britain, I think it's a bit sad that they went out. I think they showed a spirit. Not in the first game; they were not particularly great then, but in their second 2 games, they showed a great spirit, which I think is very evident in Scottish football. And again, they pick. I mean, their population is about 5 million, I think, isn't it? So they pick from small numbers, but they have some and always have produced excellent footballers.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm kind of surprised they didn't get through. I think I feel they should have done really. And at the end of the day, they were a bit unlucky. If they just got a winner on that last game, they would have gone through.
Yeah, they would have,
So
yeah.
yeah, I thought that was a bit sad. I thought that was a bit sad that they've gone. But
Yeah.
whether we'll follow them or hopefully we'll progress, it will be great. You never know, do you?
Yeah.
Got to stay
So
optimistic.
who would you like to see us play against next?
Well, I'll have to get my little bit of paper. I'm trying to think of. I mean, obviously, some of the good teams have gone out. For example, Croatia, who I think are a good side. I'd like to avoid. I mean, you mentioned Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
I'd like to avoid them, and I'd like to avoid Germany. France have a habit. I mean, they weren't very good yesterday by all accounts, but they have a habit of coming good, as I say, of growing into the tournament.
You do.
So probably those teams I would rather avoid. It's
Yeah.
16 altogether. So
Yeah.
yeah, some of the lower ranked teams might be better. But then you never know, do you? Sometimes, I mean, being a Palace supporter for years, it's often the case that we play better against the big teams and
Big
we
teams,
beat
yeah,
them,
yeah,
even away from home, than some of the teams around us, say lower in the division,
yeah.
and we play rubbish. So I think sometimes it's good to play. Playing the better team almost brings it out of players,
It
whatever the
does.
sport is.
It does,
So I
yeah.
suppose at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If we're gonna win it, we got to play whoever we have to play. And I think we've got the players. I just think he needs to play the right team. And there's a million opinions, of course. We're all football managers in the armchair, but I think Palmer, I would want to play. I would want to play Alexander Arnold. I would give Adam Walton a run out as well. Um, Otherwise, probably broadly stick to the team. I'd like to see Eberechi Eze, another Palace player, come on because he glides past players. He can beat players as you know as much as look at them. He's brilliant, and he did come on, I think, in our second game, but I think he should be given a bit of a run out because he's young and enthusiastic, and he's very good. So I think we can go further.
Yeah.
But I think if we have an obstacle, it's our manager. He'll end up screwing it up. Probably a bit unfair to say that, but I do feel that. Yeah.
Well, he got us there, Trevor.
Hmm?
He got us there.
So,
He managed to get us there. So
yeah, he did. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't think the qualification games were the hardest thing for. I mean, we are supposedly one of the top teams
yeah,
in world football, so I don't think we came up against anybody to be particularly worried about in the qualification. We usually do qualify, don't we? So
yeah,
that's good. That's good. But then, as I said, we need to then prepare the team for 2 months, 3 months, so they know each other and they play together. You bring in the odd, substitute here and there, but it doesn't seem to happen. And I never
yeah,
understand why a single manager doesn't seem to do that. But there we
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Well, I just hope that they play a bit more entertaining football. If they
Mm.
played better than they played yesterday, I think we're in for a good chance of, getting something out of the games going forward. Um, I don't, I can't really. All right, so what you and Femi said the other time about not having played or having trained together for longer
Together. Yeah. Yeah.
spend time with the players, players spending time with each other and playing and understanding each other. Apart from that, I think there's a wider problem somewhere, and I just can't seem to uh, uh, place a finger on it because I'm thinking, right, okay, so we've got what's this guy's name? Yeah, the names have just gone out of my head. The captain, what's his name?
Harry Kane.
Oh, that's it, Harry Kane. Um, I don't think he's particularly playing his best
No, he's not.
it's
No. Well,
it's
he's done
not,
very
is it?
well in Germany, but at this tournament, he's not playing that well, is he? No.
All right, yeah. I don't think he's really playing very well because we need somebody that, like you said, that can score the goals, that can, you know.
Mm.
And I thought Bellingham was going to be that guy, but it turns out that he's been muscled
Mm.
out for some reason. But then something interesting happened yesterday during the game, Trevor, where when he introduced Joe Cole. Was he Joe Cole?
No, not well this time.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
he's
yeah. This last
no,
game
you get
was it Cole?
Cole Palmer. Cole
Cole
Palmer.
Palmer. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Cole Palmer. When he introduced Cole Palmer, the dynamics of the game changed, and I'm starting to
It's
think,
true.
yeah, and I'm starting to think. Actually, there was two guys that changed the the dynamics of the game yesterday to being a little bit more fast tempoed. and that was Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer. And I think if he put those two in at the start of the game, I think would have a much better game. I think, in my opinion, because yesterday I don't know what it was, but the game was flat.
It was flat.
It was flat at first, but then when he made those changes, it sort of picked up a little bit, and I thought, whoa, I wonder. I wonder what's changed. And what do you think of the formation he's playing, Trevor? What do you think? Do you think it's because some players they play, say for instance, if I'm better at being a midfielder, and you put me up front, for instance.